ready for Halloween. And usually when we do a craft for Seeds of Faith, we do something that has to do with our Bible lesson, like Queen Esther or Joseph. But this time we're just going to do something fun for Halloween. We know you guys have been working hard in school, and you've had a lot going on. So you got in your kit, you got 3 TP tubes. So you can decide if you're going to make 3 ghosts, or 2 ghosts and a pumpkin, or 2 pumpkins and a ghost, however you want to do it. You got some googly eyes, you got some white paint. This is a half a ghost. I know it's hard to see right now, but you'll understand. And you got some orange, black, and green paper, and a paintbrush. You're gonna need a scissors. You might need a ruler, a little bit of glue, a pencil perhaps, and you're gonna do a little painting, so make sure you have something to paint on. Mom and Dad might want to give you some newspaper or something like that, so you don't make a big, huge mess. We're gonna start out making a ghost. We'll paint them up, and then while that one dries, we'll go ahead and make a pumpkin. So the first thing you're gonna do to make your ghost is flatten this thing really flat. You gotta use your muscles and flatten it down really good. So you kind of got to hold it because it wants to roll back up again. And then you're going to use your form for your ghost. Now, I need to show you, you're not going to cut on the straight line. You're not going to cut here. You're not going to cut here. You're not going to cut here. You're just going to cut around the head, around the arm, and kind of the crooked lines. And then if you want, you can cut out a little mouth. So I'm going to do mine. It's kind of tricky, but I know you guys can handle it. So you might have a little bit smaller scissors than this, but I'm going to just cut around the ghost form. And if you don't follow it exactly, your ghost will just look a little different. And it's your ghost, so that's good. Here's his hand. I'm going to cut that. Cut around there. And it's cardboard, so it's a little hard to cut. But if you get a good scissors and get some help from somebody, if it's hard for you to do, you don't have to cut it out perfectly. Then I'm going to make this join here. And then, actually you could cut any kind of mouth, or the mouth wherever you want. I'm going to cut one like I have here for this side. And I'm going to break that off. And when you open it up, there he is. He's a ghost. And because you didn't cut along the back, he'll stand up. But ghosts are not brown. They're usually white from what I'm told. I've never actually seen one. They're usually around in costumes at Halloween time. So you got some paint in a little cup. It's tempera paint. You can tell your parents it washes up pretty easily with water. And you either got a brush or a little foam sponge thing to paint with. But I put one in all your kits. And you're just going to paint him all over. Try not to get too much of a mess. And actually they do need a couple of coats, because after only one coat the brown kind of shows through. So I'll just show you a starter one, and then I'll show you what they look like after they have a couple of coats. But you're going to want to paint a coat on that. Have a glass of water for your paintbrush. And while that's drying, you're probably going to want to do that 2 or 3 times and put 2 or 3 different coats on. So while he's drying, we're going to go ahead and take one of the other toilet paper tubes, and we're going to make a pumpkin, which is kind of a weird pumpkin because it's tall and skinny, but it's Halloween, so we can do whatever we want. Toilet paper tubes are 4 inches tall. So you've got a piece of orange paper, and I'm going to mark with my ruler and my pencil 4 inches, or you could just put this down and mark and cut it that way. Then you're going to need your scissors. I'm going to make a line here so I know exactly where to cut. And then I'm going to cut this out. And this is going to cover the toilet paper tube for my pumpkin. And now you're going to need the glue. And I'm going to glue this one in pretty good. Quite a bit of glue on it. I'm going to lay this baby down and get it to stick with the glue. And then I'm going to roll it might show a little, and then I'm gonna cut it because you don't need to use all this, and we're gonna use some of this part for the hat. And then I'm gonna glue in here. And you can use a glue stick or whatever kind of glue you have at home, whatever you were using at school or whatever your mom and dad have for their crafts. This one's gonna need quite a bit of glue. So, use as much glue as you need to and get this thing to lay down and maybe press it a little bit. Put your fingers on it to hold it. And after that's done, you've got a little piece of black. I'm gonna cut out, you could either draw on them first or cut out whatever you want. I'm gonna cut out a couple of triangles for eyes and maybe a triangle for a nose. Oh, or another triangle for a nose that doesn't fall on the floor. And then maybe I'll make a mouth for this one with some big jagged teeth. However you want your pumpkin to look. You can make it smiley, you can make it scary, however you want to do it. And again, you're gonna use your glue. You need quite a bit because this pumpkin has, things seem to like to fall off him. So I'm putting the eyes on like this and like this, and the nose and the mouth. I didn't put a nose on this one, but you can see what it looks like when you get the eyes and nose and mouth on. Then the last thing we're gonna do for the pumpkin is make the hat, which I thought was kind of cute, or the top. So I'm just gonna cut a circle out of this. You can either measure it or just eye it up a little bit. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, however you wanna do it. And I'm gonna cut a little, fold it, cut a little hole in the middle. And then we have a piece of green, and I'm going to cut some cuts on this. You'll see why in a little bit. And then I'm going to take and roll it up really tight, try and make it look like a stem. And then you're going to fold out those little cuts that you made, or some of them. You can't get them all out, but you can get some out. And leave some in the middle, and this is where you're going to put your glue on those little flaps. A little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue there. You guys will take a little more time when you do yours, and it'll turn out probably better than mine. I'm trying to speed up so I can show you how to do these things pretty quickly. But that's that, that's that. And when it's all done, you have a pumpkin. Then you go back, and maybe your first ghost is dry. You can put another coat or two on, and then all that's left for your ghost, and you can make however many you want, 1, 2, or 3, is to just put the glue the googly eyes on, and they'll look like this. If you have a little votive candle, you can put that inside the ghost and make him shine, or you can put him on the kitchen table. And there you have your craft for Halloween. Hope you have a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next time with Arts and Crafts.